Good morning, my dear fangs. Happy Friday. I hope everyone has had a good week thus far. Welcome back to the channel. To newcomers, welcome. I'm Kasara, the keeper of the Cabinet of Secrets. And have I got a creepy case for you? So grab your coffee or beverage of choice and some snacks and we'll talk about this really creepy case. In June 2014, Maria and Derek Brodus, along with their three young children, were preparing to move into their new home, 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey. They claimed the six-bedroom house was their dream home and located a couple blocks away from where Maria's childhood home was, which is in one of the top 30th safest cities in the United States. 3 days after closing the sale, before the Brodus family had even begun moving in, they received a letter in their new mailbox. The letter was addressed to the new owner in big, clunky handwriting. The letter itself was typed, however, which read, "Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within? 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches the 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched the house in the 1920s, and my father watched the house in the 1960s. It is now my time. Who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I'm in one. Look at all the windows you can see from 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I'm in one. Look out any of the many windows in 657 Boulevard and all the people who stroll by each day. Maybe I am one. You have children. I have seen them. So far, I think there are 3 that I've counted. Do you need to fill the house with the young blood I requested? Better for me. Was your old house too small for the growing family, or was it greed to bring me your children? Once I know their names, I will call them and draw them to me. At the bottom of the letter, the author used a cursive font to sign The Watcher. After receiving the letter, the Brodus family reached out to the previous family who had sold them the house, John and Andrea Woods. They stated that during the 23 years of living at 657 Boulevard, they had never received a letter like that, except once, a few days before they were getting ready to move out of the house. The Woods family also stated that they had never felt watched in the 2 decades they resided on the property and rarely felt the need to lock their door at night. Sounds honestly terrifying if this is all real. While the note they received was odd, they threw it away without much concern. Regardless, both families went to the police with the letter and an investigation was opened. The police warned the families to keep the letters to themselves. They were to tell no one, including their neighbors, since they were now all suspects. 2 weeks later, even though the Brodus family still hadn't moved in, they received a second letter, which stated more specifics about the family, which included the children's birth order and nicknames. Within the letter, the watcher asked, will the children sleep in the attic, or will you all sleep on the second floor? Who has the bedrooms facing the street? I will know as soon as you move in. It will help me to know who is in which bedroom. Then I can plan better. Several weeks passed, and the Brodus put their plans on hold to move in, when a third letter arrived from the watcher, stating, where have you gone? 657 Boulevard is missing you. By the end of 2014, the case had stalled. There wasn't a digital trail, and mental effects were taking a toll on the Brodus family. Police did have a few suspects, one of which was a man only identified as the Gamer. The individual was linked to a car spotted outside the Brodus family's home late one night, and their home is on the same block as 657 Boulevard. Another individual, Michael Langford, along with his eccentric family, lived within sight of 657 Boulevard. They also resided in the house since the 1960s, which was the same time period the watcher mentioned his father kept an eye on the house during. However, none of the DNA matched, and the police found no fingerprints and no way to place somebody at the scene of the crime. Only 6 months after they received the letters, the Brodus family decided to sell the house. 657 Boulevard has been sold and is currently off the market. The watcher still remains a mystery. However, the only suspect that the police didn't rule out was the Brodus family themselves. Some believe that the family devised the whole thing to allow them to move into a much larger home. Since they were able to upgrade to better houses numerous times with refinance mortgages since the excitement sparked by the letters from the watcher. So they may have fabricated it, but the fact that the old owners also received a letter prior to moving tells me that maybe it wasn't the Broaddus family. I find it pretty terrifying regardless, but it could have been a practical joke. I'm not sure if it was or if it was the Broaddus family. If I was in the Broaddus family shoes and I didn't send the letters to myself, I don't think I would have taken the chance, especially if you have young children. What do you think? Was it a practical joke of some neighborhood kids, the family trying to get a deal on a bigger home, or something much more sinister at hand? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Later tonight, I'll be reviewing and sharing my review of Watcher, which is available to stream on Shudder. If you haven't watched it, give it a watch and see what you think of it. And come join in tonight to see what I thought of it. And I think the movie actually took inspiration from this case because I did notice some similarities between the two. So with that, take care until next time and have a fabulous weekend. Bye, everyone.